When I came to North Carolina from my hometown in South Carolina 30 years ago to find a job as a lawyer, a number of law firms in this state did not have what I'll call a consistent set of interview practices. If you grew up in Greensboro and you went to Chapel Hill and you played golf with a single-digit handicap and you went to the same fraternity as two of the members of the recruiting committee who were interviewing you, you had a pretty good, easy interview. Something along the lines of, how's your mama doing? If, on the other hand, you were a white guy who came down to North Carolina from Long Island and you had gone to Fordham and you didn't know what a fraternity was and you couldn't distinguish between an Eagle and the back nine, you had a very different kind of interview. Not hostile, not adversarial, just different. It was a reflection of the sort of common sense observation that the interview differed, sometimes significantly, based on the comfort the interviewer felt with the interviewee. There's nothing magical or complicated about that. That's human nature. But over time, employers started to realize that's not a particularly effective way of identifying and retaining good talent for the job you're trying to fill. We need to put rigor and thoughtfulness into our interview questions, and we need to make sure we apply those questions to everybody, regardless of what their demographic characteristics may be, where they come from, or how they play golf. That's a good thing. It was overdue, and we counsel employers to retain that practice. One other good practice that we counsel employers to retain is getting the biggest pipeline possible. What's that old joke they used to say around these parts when I was growing up about the fellow who said he listened to both kinds of music, country and Western? Back in the day, 30 years ago, some of those same law firms said they hired from both law schools, Duke and Chapel Hill. And then people came to realize that if you really want to assemble the broadest pool of talent possible, you need to go wherever the talent is, and talent can be anywhere. So people started to become much more aggressive and thoughtful about interviewing at colleges they'd never been to before, going to law schools they'd never been to. In cases where they were trying to recruit and retain talent that did not need a college degree, they were tapping into community organizations, professional organizations, finding ways to reach people wherever they were. That's a good thing. That's something we need to retain. Expanding the pipeline, making sure we interview all of our potential talent the same way, ask the same questions to the same people, regardless of the color of their skin or where they come from or what their religion is. That's a good thing. That came out of the DE&I movement, I'll call it, and we need to hang on to that.